Hey everybody, this is Relentless James. Welcome to the cast. I am joined as always with
Dom.
Wow, that was really basic.
I am basic.
Well, wow, I wouldn't say that. Anyway, guys, this is episode 2, Electric Boogaloo, as people would say.
I like that.
Well,
I want every episode to be an Electric Boogaloo, though.
What would you call it? Electric Boogaloo 2, 3, 4, 5?
Electric Boogaloo 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo, the Reckoning.
The Reckoning.
The Revenge.
It's happening
the
again.
Revengeance. Anyway, guys, we're going to kick this show off with a very basic video game topic today. Dom, take it away.
Well, as you all know, recently, when this gets posted, I don't know how recent it'll be, probably 2 weeks. But Destiny, the Taken King came out. All right. Destiny's pretty polarizing, as we all know.
Destiny actually has a story.
Have you played Destiny?
I played Destiny a little bit.
Speak to the mic.
I don't like Destiny.
You don't like Destiny?
No.
Why don't you like it?
No story.
All right. So, I've played Destiny since it first came out last year. And since then, we've seen Destiny, the first expansion, which is The Dark Below, the second expansion, which was House of Wolves, and this is The Taken King is the third expansion, and we're 1 year out. And Destiny, like I said, it's been pretty polarizing. The biggest complaints with Destiny, and the way I look at it, is that Destiny, like from a mechanical standpoint, just playing the game is very good. It's peerless, really. The gunplay, having the powers, the supers, the system like that, it's all very good. It's fun. It's excellent fun. The biggest problem that Destiny
Very Halo-esque to me.
Oh yeah, it's like Halo, except you're like a super powered wizard. I play a warlock, for those of you who don't.
You're a wizard, Dom.
Yes, I am a wizard. My favorite thing is a medal you get when you kill people with like your super. One of your super attacks is just a gigantic purple bomb that explodes and kills people. When you kill 3 people with it, you get a medal called Space Magic. The hell is that?
That is my phone.
Oh God.
Spicy douchebag text me.
But so original Destiny, the biggest problem was that you had this excellent game, like mechanically, but you didn't have anything to do. When the game first released, you had a really bare bones. Silence your phone. But
It's unprofessional.
It is very unprofessional. When the game first came out, you had this very bare bones sort of experience. You had a leveling system from 1 to 20, and it was extremely poor. Like you said, there was no exposition. It was just super vague. Like, what's happening? Why am I alive? What's going on? Who's the traveler?
It wasn't bad. It's the whole story part. Like, Xenoverse follows the same concept of having that MMO/RPG style.
Well, yeah, but Xenoverse built off of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, but the story that they had for a $50 game was way better than Destiny.
I do want to clarify though. Xenoverse's story is adapted from Dragon Ball Online, the Korean.
That is,
MMO.
and that's another people say, but at least it still had a
It's
story.
fine. It was good. I don't dislike Xenoverse, but Destiny, like I said, like it just wasn't great. You'd level up, hit 20. The only thing you could do was either PvP or what was called the raid called the Vault of Glass. Now, the Vault of Glass was excellent. It was actually just great. I loved every second of it, and I did it many, many times. I cleared it on normal. I cleared it on hard. I got all my gear. I got the Vex Mythoclast. I got everything. It was
Didn't
awesome.
they screw with the raids or something?
Oh, well, Vault of Glass, as good as it was, definitely wasn't perfect. There's a lot of ways to cheese bosses. You could sort of push dudes off of the edge of the... You could literally, for several bosses, push them off of the edge of the platform that they're on and kill them, which is very amusing. You could just do that.
That's combat strategy, man.
You could trick them into walking off the edge and kill them. There's 2 distinct bosses you could do this to.
So you Looney Tunes them.
A bit. And there was and even the final boss, there's a lot of issues with glitches. The final boss's mechanics involved teleporting players to different realms, and weird things would happen. Like sometimes he wouldn't teleport players. Sometimes, this happened to me once, he would teleport players, and then on teleportation they would just die inexplicably. I don't know. It was rough. It was definitely rough around the edges, but the core of it was really good. It was this awesome 6-player adventure you'd go spend a couple hours doing. It was very challenging, especially the first.
It's a good multiplayer game at that moment.
It was really good. And then PvP was fine to do as well. But beyond those 2 things, you really didn't have anything to do. The strikes weren't worth it. Once you got all of your gear, you were done. I mean, that's true of every MMO, but it was just it was real thin. The second expansion came out, gave us another raid, and that is in quotation marks. I'm making quotation marks with my fingers.
Because it wasn't like the others.
I wouldn't call it a raid. It was like Vault of Glass would take a couple hours. You had a handful of encounters. You had, you'd go into the raid. You'd have to unlock the door. And that was like a fight in itself. You'd have to go downstairs, fight this first boss, which is like a long 20-minute thing, which is really cool. It's very difficult. Then you'd go into this maze where you had to sneak past all these instant kill robots. Then you had to jump along all these vanishing like blocks and get to the other side of this big chasm. Then you had to fight this other robot where you had to run into like time portals and do all this crazy stuff. Then you had to fight the final boss, and he would be doing all this wacky stuff too. And it was just really cool.
It's like you're playing a gauntlet.
Yeah,
it's a raid.
But the Dark Below, Crota's End was the name of the raid. Dark Below is the name of the expansion. Crota's End was really crappy. You would drop down, have to run this like dark, I don't know how to describe it, like this. You have to run through this big dark room and not die because enemies were attacking you. Then you went and you crossed a bridge. You had to like unlock this bridge. Then you went to a room and had to fight this like floating wizard thing. Mm-hmm. And then the final boss spawned and you fought him. But it was really thin. It was really quick.
That's like a test demo level.
It was pretty bad. My biggest complaint with the issue with the whole thing was that it was very short compared to Vault of Glass. Like, it just wasn't quite as engaging. And the final boss, I just felt like was poorly designed. When he spawns, he's a giant like green dude. I don't know how to describe him.
He's just a giant green. He looks like one of the knights almost.
He is a knight. He's a giant knight, and he has a giant sword. Okay, his name's Crota. And his mechanic is that his core mechanic is that he's got a shield that you can destroy. But once you destroy his shields with your guns, he's invincible underneath it. And that right there, that's like a red flag, I think, in design. Like,
well, hold on.
Why does he have a shield if he's actually just, and his shield is his vulnerable part, right? That sounds stupid.
Like, why would you have wait, hold on. Maybe it's just like a trollish thing that's like, they have a chance. We got our shields down.
Yeah.
Lol,
turns out
I'm indestructible.
Turns out, lol, I'm actually indestructible underneath my shield. And the shield's just to fuck with your head. So that was
move.
Well, what ends up happening is a doodle spawn that you have to kill, and he drops a sword. Mm-hmm. The sword can hurt Crota. So everyone shoots Crota and his shields fall. When his shields fall, he like gets stunned, and the guy with the sword can whack him a couple times.
So you have to monotonously lower his shields, kill an enemy, pick a sword up, and use its weapon to hurt him.
Sort of. And I just feel
monotonous.
Like my big issue with that. Oh. There's another thing. He also summons a lot of enemies that just run around the arena and just ruin your life. Specifically, there's a couple things. These like big knights that shoot these big blasts of energy and they just stand on ledges shooting at you. And if it hits you, it's either going to like really mess your life up or kill you. I also need to clarify that your health doesn't regenerate unless you have a special item. But anyway, so at its core, Crota's problem was that you had to break his shields to let one person hurt him. And I think that's like backwards. I really think one little thing that would have made it better is if the sword is used to break his invincible shields, mm-hmm. and then underneath the shield he's vulnerable and you can shoot him. Like, that's a more logical way of sort of doing it.
Yeah.
Also, the fight was very punishing. It didn't really allow any room for error. And usually, if
one player screws up, the entire team's dead.
Often, yes. Through a mechanic called the Oversoul. But that's good, but also bad, because the prior raid, even on hard mode, the final boss, there were times, and some of the best moments I had in Destiny were when we would be like, we'd be at the end of the fight, and the team would be stretched thin, and someone would die, and then someone else would die, and you'd be like, oh crap, can we kill him? And you'd have to panic and just on the fly figure it out, and turn it up to
you fucking yellow it.
Yeah, turn it up to 11 and give it all your all in that last burst and kill him. And that happened several times. It was very fun every single time. It was really exciting. With Crota, it was like, oh, Joe's dead. Well, there's the Oversoul. If you're on hard mode, it's like you're dead.
You're screwed. You're absolutely screwed.
And, these enemies are very punishing. The enemies are killing you. If you get hit by them, you're usually going to get one shot. The best strategy for defeating Crota towards the end, the last time I killed him, was for everyone to go stand on this one ledge, let one guy worry about the sword, and then like shoot Crota. Like, it was you didn't do anything. Like, you just stood on the ledge until it was time to break his shield.
He didn't have any projectile weapons?
He did, but he was so far away that he couldn't shoot you with them. And then when he got close enough to you to shoot you with them, you would just like move around the ledge and hide. But it was just really dumb. Like, to beat Crota, you played peekaboo with him. You played peekaboo, and it just wasn't very engaging. It was really terrible. It was just the worst. So I hated the Dark Below. I hated Crow's End. I hated everything about that. Then the House of Wolves dropped. House of Wolves was an improvement. Didn't have a raid, but it had this sort of this like, I don't want to call it a horde mode, but this arena mode almost, where you went into these arenas, fought off waves of enemies, and then fought a boss at the end. And that was a bit better. It wasn't nearly as bad. It was still kind of rough. It wasn't super engaging, but it was definitely better than Crota's End. Now we have the Taken King. So the Taken King changes a lot of stuff. First and foremost,
it changes. A story.
It does give it a story. That's a big thing. When you play through Destiny 1 through 20, you like, it's so weird that they would be saying things to you, but they wouldn't be explaining them. So like, hey, there's a traveler, and you'd be like, what's a traveler? And they'd be like, well, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. Hey, you have light. What's light? Don't worry about it. You're fighting the darkness. What's the? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Kingdom Hearts explained it.
Just
even Kingdom Hearts explained it. Jesus.
Just go do the thing. In the Taken King, when you start the first mission, you get this excellent cinematic where there's this crazy cool space battle going on, and it's like, oh, well, crap. Now I know what's going on. You fly in. You're like, here's the enemy. Here's what's happening. Here's the bad guy. He wants to do this. He's doing that. Blah blah blah. Here's your reason for killing him. Here's all the bad things he's doing. Here's all the bad things he's going to do. Like, the game just sort of fills you in the whole way through your fighting.
It sets up an antagonist, and you were the protagonist,
Yeah.
and you guys got to stop him.
And it's like, well, all right, I have a reason to be doing this. I know who this guy is. I know what he's doing. Before, when you went in the Vault of Glass, before going into the Vault of Glass, I think there's only one reference to the Vault of Glass in the entirety of the game up to that point. At the end of a single mission, your ghost looks at a repository of like info, this like scientific.
We got you, the Peter Dinklage ghost.
Yeah, this like encyclopedia thing. And he goes, there's a reference to the Vault of Glass here. And it's like, okay. And then they're like, well, there's the Vault of Glass. Go do it. Okay, I guess. With the Taken King, they're just like, there's Oryx. He's bad. He's killing everybody. He's killing your friends. He's killing these guys. He's trying to kill you. And you're just like, oh crap, and it's way better. I'm super shortening it because I want people to go in.
Do you think this is originally part of the story, or do you think it was just cut content?
Sometimes I feel the feeling I get is that Destiny came out kind of half done, and over the past year, Bungie's been finishing it, and the Taken King is really what
you
the
don't
game
think
should have been.
It's like Evolve, right? Where Evolve, like, they'll make a full game but cut the content for you to buy.
No. I don't think that's occurred. I think when I feel like they had a deadline for Destiny and said, well, this has got to be it. We got to have something. Here's our bare bones pile of shit. And they put it out. And then over the past year, so they've been working on this to make the game.
So literally, you played a beta.
Yes, actually, that's kind of the idea. Is I feel like the past year has been a beta.
I hate that game. I hate that a lot of games have been doing that.
It's a little rough.
They'll release like a game where it's like, oh, this is the full game, but it's not really the full game. It's more like a beta, and then release more patches and DLC that are already supposed to be a part of the game.
Yes,
It's
despicable. I do not, for the record, I actually don't buy that much DLC. Like, for Destiny, I have bought it. And I'll tell you this, I regretted buying the Dark Below. House of Wolves wasn't too bad. I don't regret buying the Taken King. And if you haven't played Destiny, or if you have played Destiny but not gotten any of the expansions, I strongly encourage you, because here's the thing. I don't know if they're doing this still, but GameStop was having a trade-in thing where if you brought your old Destiny disc in, they gave you 20 trade credit. Then you bought the Taken King, like Legendary Edition or whatever it's called. It's $60. So you're paying $40 after the trade-in credit.
Right.
And it gives you the disc back. It gives you the Taken King, which I had to pay $40 for by itself, and it gives you the other two expansions. It gives you everything for $40, which is a pretty good deal, I think.
Right. But when you think about it, you've paid $80 now for a game then.
Yeah, it's a little rough, but it's not as bad as it could be. You're getting the game. I mean, it's definitely, I'm not excusing it. But sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do.
See, I've heard the Taken King, people that don't like Destiny now like Destiny because of the Taken King.
Yes, the Taken King is very good. When you play, so in addition to the story, it basically revamps the whole game. Like the whole game, the systems at least for improving your character are enhanced. Now, in old Destiny, you had a level cap of 20. Then when you found better gear, it gave you like this virtual extra levels. So you would go from 20 to like 30 through your gear. And then all the way to 34, I think, through your gear. Now, it's a lot more like a regular MMO where you just have a hard level cap, period. 40. You hit 40, you're at 40. You have what's called a light level, which is a fancy way of saying a gear score. That tells you how powerful your gear is. It averages everything out.
Right.
And as you collect equipment, your gear score, your light level improves and you become stronger. Now, in the old game, you found a piece of gear and it was either better or worse. If it was worse, you discarded it. If it was better, you wore it. Now, if you find gear, legendary items can be like infused with stronger gear. If you find a good legendary item you like, but it's not quite up to snuff, then you find a piece of gear that has more defensive power on it, more of a gear score, but it doesn't have maybe the additional abilities, the perks that you like, or it doesn't even look like what you want it to look like. Sometimes I choose some of my gear based on aesthetics. You can take the stronger piece of gear and put it into your weaker legendary, and it will bring it up a bit. So it allows you to preserve your gear no matter what it is, as long as it's legendary or higher. So that system is really cool. It gives you an incentive to sit there and kind of grind stuff out, because you can always like find gear and improve it and like constantly maintain it.
Is there a level cap to the improving of your armor?
As far as I'm aware, so the way it ends up working out is when you combine two pieces of gear, you're going to infuse a stronger piece into a weaker piece. And the weaker piece typically gains about 80% of that stronger piece's power. So if you had something that's at 310 and something that's at 300, and you put the 310 piece into the 300 piece, it jumps into like 306, maybe 308. I'm not sure. Not all the way, but it gets it up there.
Right.
So there is a limit on how strong you can make stuff, because stuff stops, sort of tapers off at a certain point in terms of power. Right now,
it's like Pokemon's EV training. You can't go ridiculous.
A bit. Right now, stuff tapers out at like before going into the raid, stuff tapers out at 300. It's very hard to hit 300 without going into the raid, because your gear is going to start like, you're going to get a few pieces here and there that are level 300, but a lot of your stuff's going to float in like the mid 290s. So you end up in the mid 290s. Once you go into the raid, stuff starts dropping at more than 300, and I think from a technical standpoint, it'll be possible to get everything up to 310, but that's going to be a slow grind. Oh gosh, where was I going with this? So that's how the gear system works now. You can slowly evolve your gear, and better gear comes out of more and more impressive sort of challenges. But there's a lot more challenges now. The raid, and the raid's excellent. I've gotten about halfway through it this week anyway, and I'm going to try to jump in it later this week and kill a boss. We got through the War Priest. We're on Golgoroth now, and our raid fell apart. We didn't even try Golgoroth. So we're going to try to do that later this week. But it's very good. It's definitely the successor to the Vault of Glass. In some ways, I like the Vault of Glass. It was mysterious.
Actually makes Destiny a game?
It does make Destiny a game. I like the Vault of Glass because it was very mysterious, and I really like, once again, the aesthetics of it all. It was very like stony, mechanical, crystalline. King's Fall, which is the name of the new raid, is very... well, let's see. The people who you're fighting in this raid are called the Hive, and their motif is a sort of like skeletal, zombie-esque kind of thing. So their building, their raid, has got this kind of tombish feel to it, like you're doing like some Tomb Raider stuff. It's like a tomb in space. There's this really cool sequence where there's a huge, just empty space. You have to cross it because there's these spaceships that are going to be phasing in and out of existence and making these like temporary platforms. So you have to ride the spaceships across this big chasm.
It's fucking Mega Man, the disappearing platforms.
Yeah. And as you're riding, you'll look out to the sides, and it's a big chasm, and you'll just see the stars. You'll see the stars, and you'll see the rocks and the asteroids, and then you'll get to the other end. You'll jump off your platform, and then boom, you're in this like crypt. It's pretty cool. It's very cool. It's very good. PvP's got a few extra modes now, so it's not quite as monotonous. What else is going on? It's just, there's a lot. There's really a lot, and it's a lot better. I don't really know how to describe it beyond that. The main thing is that now you have a reason to play, and you have stuff to do. So, that's where I'm at with it. I like it a lot. I'm enjoying it a lot. I strongly encourage people. Hey, is that Mega Man? What is this?
Mega Man 3 UKD.
UDK?
UDK.
What is that?
There you go. I don't know. So it's basically like this.
Sort of, actually, yes. A bit like that. It is not unlike that entirely.
Copyright.
The platforms in... Now, this is... Like, the Vault of Glass does this, where they appear and disappear. Mm-hmm. In King's Fall, they're spaceships, so they're actually moving, too. So you have to like jump on them and surf them for a little bit, and then jump off of them before they vanish onto other ships that have just appeared. It's pretty cool. But I like it.
Well, it seems like Destiny finally got what it needed.
Stuff.
stuff that was makes basically to make it a game.
Yeah,
you know?
like you have a narrative, you have a reason to play, and you have stuff to do, and it's rewarding and it's engaging.
I'm just
It's
waiting
still
for
not perfect.
some big party titles to come out, and I can't I don't. There's nothing coming out that's big right now until like October.
What do we have? Let's see. Metal Gear Solid came out recently. I have not gotten it yet. I'm waiting. I might.
That's one, but the problem is that they had Mad Max, which I heard was okay.
I heard Mad Max was very good. I heard it was really good. Like actually much better than people expected. Maybe not incredible, but fun. Like a fun game. If you like Mad Max, look into it.
I watched it. It seems more like a grind game.
Like a grind game?
Like because everything was so monotonous and dissimilar. There's parts that are different, but whatever. My cup of tea. Mad Max is not my cup of tea.
I've never seen any of the Mad Max movies. I've heard the new one's very good, and I intend to watch it at some point. But
Thunderdome is better.
I am notorious amongst everyone that I know for not watching movies or television or really anything at all. Just not what I like to do.
Well, let's. Oh, the clap was loud. Let's lead on to movie news. Supposedly,
wait. I have one more thing I need to put. I have got one more thing I have got to tell people.
Okay.
This is very near and dear to my heart. This is extremely important. And this Mega Man.
Right.
We're gonna talk about Mega Man for 1 second.
Right.
Some of you may or may not know. Back in the late '90s, early 2000s, there was a game for the PlayStation 1 called Mega Man Legends. And it was like Mega Man and Legend of Zelda like combined. It was Mega Man, but it was like a 3-dimensional adventure world. I love that game. That's actually my favorite game of all time.
Right.
Mega Man Legends 2 came out not long after that. Not as good as Mega Man Legends 1, but still fine. Then this is early 2000, like 2001. Right. In 2011-ish, I think, 2010, they announced a Mega Man Legends 3.
Oh yeah, and
they canceled it. That was pretty rough. That was rough.
Well, you should get that from Capcom around that time.
Capcom is a trash pile.
They didn't give two shits about their audience. They didn't. I'm sorry.
Mega Man is the brainchild of one Keiji Inafune. So that's who made it. At this time, when Mega Man Legends got canceled, Keiji Inafune had left or was in the process of leaving Capcom. And
very similar to Kojima.
Yes, very simple. It's very similar to what's happening right now. But I really think that the game was canceled sort of out of spite.
Possibly. But when you think about Capcom in general, during that time, they've been known to lock content on disc.
And they make the same game 6 times.
That's Street Fighter. Gotcha. Is true.
I think Capcom was what? They were like subsisting on
They
Street Fighter.
were milking that as much as they can. I think hopefully Capcom right now has a better face with a lot of people.
I still despise them. However, I will say this. What I'm trying to tell people about is that recently, just a couple months ago, Capcom released on the PlayStation Network store an old game called The Misadventures of Tron Bonne. And that's a spin-off of Mega Man Legends. Tron Bonne is a villain in Mega Man Legends. Yeah. And people might be familiar with her from like the various Versus games. Like Versus Capcom. Because she pops up in those a lot.
Yeah.
Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I think, she's in.
Yes.
People know her. So she's from Mega Man Legends. And her game was put onto the PSN recently. I think you can only play on the Vita. I'm not sure. But on Tuesday, in just a couple days, it's September 20-something. They're putting Mega Man Legends 1 on the PSN. And
it's about time.
And that can be played on the Vita and I think the PS3. Buy it. If you have one of those systems and you can play it, buy it. Please. It's going to be like $10. I don't know about you, but it's my favorite game of all time. It's
if you go back and look at the PS1 in general, right? It's one of the most entertaining and console games of that era. Now, the people could say Resident Evil. They could also say not Mad Max, but
Final
Max
Fantasy
Payne.
VII.
Max Payne.
Max Payne was a PS2
Final
game.
Fantasy. No, I thought it was on PS1. Mm-hmm. There was Max Payne 1 PS1. I thought.
No, it's PS2.
Really?
Oh yes, I know all about Max Payne.
Okay. I thought Max Payne was on it. Mike also mentioned Legend of Dragoons.
That is also on the PSN, I think. I know it is because a friend of mine bought it for his PS3. Buy that if you like it.
So, did they do an HD remake on it, or just?
It's just.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, I mean, it's fine. But Mega Man Legends is a lot of fun. It's like the appeal to it to me is that it's got this excellent like little fun little.
It was
story.
the PlayStation's Majora's Mask, or
maybe.
Ocarina of Time.
Some people would be like, no, Mega Man Legends is a trash pile, but I'd say
No, it's the PlayStation's version.
Sure,
It's like we're not trying to say it's better or worse. We're trying to say it's what we had closest to it.
Mega Man Legends is a lot of fun. If you take it sort of as what it is, you have to walk into this, and here's what Mega Man Legends is. It's this fun little almost like colorful little anime adventure. You're this like you are Mega Man, this adventuring archaeologist in essence called the Digger.
It doesn't follow any of the Mega Man or Mega Man X stories.
No,
it's its own universe.
No, it's not its own universe though.
Oh.
All the Mega Men, except for maybe some of the weird ones, I don't know, are chronologically related. Mega Man Legends takes place like in the distant future after Mega Man and Mega Man X. It's way off in the future. Way off in the future. So Mega Man, you are Mega Man. You run around. You're like you're this young boy who's basically an archaeologist almost. Mm-hmm. And you run around going on all these ruins, fighting off these robots, looking for treasure. And it's just this excellent little adventure. You run into these pirates, Tron Bonne and her family, and you fight them. They're after treasure too. Then you discover this like ancient secret beneath this island, and it's really cool.
It's like ancient robotics.
Yes.
Now, I remember the first starting level that you did in Mega Man Legends. You're in a dark ass corridor. It's like Mega Man's so upright. It's colorful. But when you go to play this, you're like, what the hell?
When I was young, I was actually quite intimidated by some of the enemies.
You were the little guys that stood around wasn't that intimidating?
No, like the Reaver bots, no. But even still, they're kind of creepy.
But the first enemy you ran to, you hear this clong, clong, clong. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
And you just hear this random and just like smashing. And you're like, what the fuck is it? You look around. You look up on the ceiling and you see him walking on the ceiling. Yep. You're like, what?
The creepy spider bot. That thing, it just catches you by surprise. There are some enemies in the later game. Oh, God. These are the ones that actually still kind of scare me at times. They are humanoid, like robots, but they've got this sort of horrifying, like, claws and drills and stuff. And they cloak. They cloak a lot. And they have this really distinctive clunking noise when they run. Mm-hmm. And they have a tendency to sprint, too. So you'll walk into a room and you'll hear them walking, like, clink, clink, clink. You won't see them. Then they'll notice you. You'll know they notice you because all of a sudden you hear clank, 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 and then they'll like come at you with their drill and uncloak. It's freaky deaky.
So the cloaked enemies that you can't see, and you just freak out.
And then there's a boss later in that dungeon called the Behemoth. I remember the first time I fought it. You walk into its room and it's just this big like yellow pillar, and you're just like, what is? That was my phone. Now my phone's blinking. What's going on? You walk into the room, it's just a big yellow pillar, but you know something's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you go in, you take the treasure, you walk out, and it's just like, blink, giant robot, and it's like, whoa.
For Mega Man Legends, when you fought the big ass dude that like charged you, the first boss of the level.
Oh, yes.
Because basically you do take another treasure, and it does appear too.
The giant one-armed robot?
The giant one-armed robot where you eventually fight it. At first, when I was a kid, like that was like one of the most like intimidating emotion. Like, shit, you're trying to win. The most memorable part of the game for me, and I don't know why, and it's maybe a cruel part of it, I remember the skid shoes.
Yes, the little jet shoes.
The jet shoes you just start skidding on. And I also remember the part of the city where you go fight dogs. You kick dogs.
There are, yes.
You literally kick dogs.
There is a section of the city that is like a rundown industrial area full of wild dogs that will attack you.
Doberman pincers.
Yes, they will attack you, and in order to keep them from attacking you, kick them. It doesn't kill them or anything. It mostly just they just walk away from you. You kick them.
You kick them, they fall down. So basically, you just kick the dog.
Yeah. But then they get up and they just walk away. They sulk away like, oh man, I can't eat that kid.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're not like killing dogs, and the dogs are fine. You just give them a quick like smack to the booty, and they're just like, oh man.
But the way he kicks is so brutal. You see it. It's a straight up football kick.
It is. But the dogs are fine. Don't worry, everybody. The dogs are totally fine. Every time you go back there, all the dogs are there still waiting for you, and they don't learn their lesson. They attack you every time. They are totally fine after giving a little boot to the rear.
That is animal cruelty. Apparently now we're
it's not animal cruelty.
Mega Man's Michael Vick all of a sudden.
I mean, they're not like they're really close. I mean, sure they're dogs, but they're really like wolves that are attacking you. And like I said, you don't, other than like say shooing them away with your shoe, they don't like get hurt.
No, I know. I remember the first part when you get on the island, when you get to the first city, or the first little like it's
the Apple Market.
Yeah, you go in there. Everyone in that place is a freaking douchebag that you talk to.
They're kind of douchey.
You have, oh my god! You go to the music store, and you're able to listen to all the music and all that. I really like that immersion in a game. Now, this is gonna. We'll get to this game part again, which I want. But this is we're related to a movie. Now, I don't know if you watched Robotech. Did you watch Robotech as a kid?
No. I played the GameCube game.
Oh, you played Battlecry. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting enough.
You're a robot who's also a jet who can be a jet robot.
Well, interesting enough, apparently Sony has now got all the rights to do a movie that they're greenlighting. It's basically
Sony.
God. But it's also they're hiring the director that did the second G.I. Joe and what else he did.
I've never seen the G.I. Joe movies.
They're okay, but it's a callback to the 80s. Now they're trying to make this like a marketable franchise, which I think is okay. But majority of us who watched Robotech that liked Robotech, we only liked the first Macross series.
Sure.
With the jet fighters and Rick Hunter and blah, 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 blah. We like that part. Now, I think them doing a movie is going to be interesting. It's going to be entertaining as hell. Hopefully don't put in like, Transformers did with the scrotum of,
oh my God. That made me, when I was watching the second Transformers movie, I really liked the first one. Okay. And I have liked Transformers since I was a young lad. Okay.
It's a guilty pleasure, as they used to call it.
The first movie, like my biggest complaint with the first movie is that there wasn't enough robot action, and a lot of times when the robots are fighting, they were actually like off screen. Like you'd see them tackle and then go off the screen.
Yeah.
But the first one was fine, and I like Transformers. Like I used to watch a little Generation 1 when I was young. I had a little Optimus Prime. I watched Beast Wars. I watched what was it?
Energon Wars. It was something like Energon something.
Armada. I watched Armada with the Minicons.
The Minicons, yeah.
I watched a bit of that, and I liked it all. So I like Transformers.
Made a Starred Sword.
The second Transformers movie made me so angry when I could see when he had his big clanging balls. Like, come on, what is happening? The Constructicons, right, have balls. I think we all know how I feel about balls.
Why was the racist stereotype brother? Transformers.
Oh my God, that too! Like that was so disgusting. It was like
I'm not by the third movie.
Like it was like who did they? What gets me is like who did they think they were fooling? Like what is going? Obviously, we're not idiots.
Like the beginning of the movie was very cool, where it had like a giant transformer. Oh, we're getting that. Yeah. Hey everybody, we're welcome back. Sorry, we had a guest visit me at the moment.
You might just be able to like trim all of this out and be like intermission, bleep.
Just like have a picture of a cat going, "Hang in there, baby."
Hang in there, baby. So we all right. So let's pick back up. We were talking about the Transformers,
Constructicons.
We're talking about and the racism bots. Mm-hmm. It's like who were they fooling? Like. I don't know. That whole movie disgusted me, and I'm not like some sort of like social justice.
And how Shia LaBeouf and Optimus Prime were almost the same people they got. Like apparently, I can't even talk about the movie because it's so bad.
Yeah, that one made me really mad.
Shia LaBeouf is the ultimate Prime because he gets resurrected too.
Oh God, just that movie made me sick. That movie made me sick. When I watch Transformers, do you know what I want to see? I want to see crazy laser beam action
with robots kicking each other's
robots
ass.
Fighting and doing dumb cheesy robot stuff. I don't want to see like giant robot balls. I don't want to see racist robots, whatever. Also the stupid stuff. It was just like I was so frustrated watching that movie. The third one I thought was passable. I actually enjoyed it. And the fourth one, because I've seen them all. The fourth one, my only complaint, and I think if someone actually did this, and I might even do this one day, probably not, but if someone sat down and went through the movie and trimmed out most of the scenes where Marky Mark and his family are running from the robots screaming, it would actually be really good. Because the movie runs kind of long, but it's got a lot of robot action, and it's got
I have a video to show you.
Oh, yeah?
It's called Everything Wrong with the fourth Transformers movie. It is a 3-part, 30-minute video.
Yes. There's a lot of Marky Mark's family screaming as they run from stuff.
No, I mean, it is really bad.
I know.
I mean, like I thought the second one was bad. Like, this is pretty bad.
Well, we'll have to see it sometime. But
it tries too hard.
I think if they had gone in, there's a sequence in the fourth one where Marky Mark and his family are in their car reversing through a city, escaping a giant spaceship, and I'm like, just why is this even in here? If that just wasn't in there. The movie goes, like, I'm just going to reiterate, the movie goes long, and there's a lot of dumb stuff about Marky Mark's family that I don't care about. There's plenty of cool robot action and cool robot exposition, and that's all I want. Just get rid of Marky Mark's family. I don't care. I didn't mind Shia LaBeouf in the first movie, mainly because it was mostly just
There was also a jailbait, or what was it?
Megan Fox was an adult, I think.
No, in the fourth one, where the dude's like, no, dude, it's legal. I'm within this amount of dating time.
Oh yeah, that was really awkward.
That's like, you're not telling me that's really creepy?
That was really awkward too. Who's the director for these movies?
Oh
He likes explosions.
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. Michael Bay is a weird guy. That's the vibe.
I think he's into young girls, dude.
That's the vibe I'm getting because his movies have got all these really weird things going on, like the racist bots, the giant balls, and the else jailbait weirdness. Like,
so he's a racist, immature, piggish pedophile.
Maybe that's a bit loaded, but I think he's a strange guy.
The statutory shit, the whole situation with the dude's like, it's not rape, bruh.
It's not rape. Don't worry about it, okay? It's fine.
See, like the second one, it started off strong, right? You had the giant Decepticon transform that, was running on the highway. Optimus Prime jumps up on it. Cool as hell, right?
Yes, and then it knows.
And just fucking nosedive as hard as it can. And for one, the whole second part of the movie, Optimus Prime, they rescue Sam or whatever, right? They rescue everybody. Optimus Prime drives off and everything, right? All of a sudden, you see Optimus fucking Prime running alone in the woods. Where is everybody? Did everyone just say, hey, fuck it, we're going to stop at the 7-Eleven, Optimus, get some gas?
Yes.
YOLO. Like, what?
Transformers gotta get some gas.
They fucking leave Optimus alone in the fucking woods with the Decepticons.
It was just a bad movie. It was a bad movie.
Like,
the Transformers movies are just...
What, did you fucking take a wrong turn in Albuquerque? You missed the left turn with them?
Yeah, Bugs Bunny. I don't know. It is what it is. Transformers could be greatly improved, I think, if they got someone other than Michael Bay to do it, and they put a little more focus on the robots. The first movie was fine. It's obviously you need a person. You have to have a person to ground it a bit. It can't just be robots doing robot stuff. That would be a little rough. Even the old Transformers movie shows didn't do that. Wikis from the old Transformers shows. There's always usually a little human kid or someone there to keep us.
There was Spike, and then everyone else.
Yeah, there's always a person to link us to the robots. So I'm not complaining about the people, but the people need to be like just there enough to keep us like, oh, people,
they
but not like I don't want to watch this family do
minor
their
characters.
stuff.
The one thing that I had issues with these movies, and this even goes to the Ninja Turtle shit, right?
I didn't see that one.
Oh my god, fucking. Okay, anyway. The third movie, right? The trailer comes out, the dark of the moon or whatever they called it.
Bark at the Moon.
It had a really good trailer. It was really dark. It was premising like shit's going down.
Well, I like the third movie for the most part. There are a few dumb scenes like with his girlfriend and stuff.
Oh, when the girl talks shit to Megatron because Megatron's bitch made.
Yes, like it's a little. I mean, that was like I don't think Megatron's gonna give a shit with some random.
Oh, or how all the humans on Earth just say, "Fuck it, we can't beat them," considering there's 7 billion of us and how many of you guys?
I don't know if they could beat him though.
Our military would decimate the fuck out of the Transformers in that city. I mean, decimate.
Probably.
If all the world's armies got together, there's no fucking way they could beat us. You walked into an anthill, is what you just did.
Yeah. I don't know. It is what it is.
Like, I hate how the humans were like, yeah, we just rolled on their back and, kind of like, take me kind of thing. It's like, bullshit. It's like, realistically, humans be like, really? Come try it then. See what happens, dude.
It's rough. That's all I'm going to say. Transformers is rough.
So
we'll see what happens with Robotech. It'll probably be rough.
I hope Robotech does not...
Sony's doing it, right?
Sony's doing it.
I don't trust Sony.
Well... They're trying to make it a franchise. I hope they don't put in the cornball.
Sony is responsible
part of Robotech?
I think, Fantastic Four, right?
No.
Are they not?
Spider-Man.
They did Spider-Man.
They did Amazing Spider-Man. I Fantastic Four was Fox.
Was it Fox?
All Fox.
Maybe it's Fox that I despise.
Because Fan Four stickers is what you're talking about? They said that from the company that made X-Men Days of Future Past. Oh. And that movie was such a fucking utter...
Spider-Man's all right.
No, I'm talking about Fan Four stick. Like, it was a...
Fan Four stick.
Well, that's what it is. It's not,
I get it, because the four is
before...
right in the
that's
middle.
why you would say it.
Fan Four stick.
The movie is god-awful. Like, you know how a movie has, like, a beginning, middle, and end?
Sure.
Basically, you had a beginning that did not happen... They didn't get powers till, like, halfway through the movie.
Yeah, my understanding is that the movie's just a giant beginning.
It's a giant beginning to get to the middle, and, like, all the action sequences with the thing that they had in the trailer?
I'm going to let you in a little secret. I have not watched this movie.
Okay, well, good, because I'm going to spoil the shit out of it. Okay, so basically, you saw the trailer with the thing being a mass destruction tool and dropping on bases and shit. Not even in the movie. Not in the movie.
Oh.
So basically, what happens is Terrence Howard. Is that what the character guy's name is? The guy with the big nose who plays Mr. Fantastic. I think it's Terrence.
I don't know his name. He was. What else did he do? He He was in a great movie called... Oh, God, what was that movie called? It was with J. Jonah Jameson.
I think it's Terrence Howard. I'm not...
God, what was the name of that? What was the name of that movie? It's a movie about a young boy who plays the drums, and he wants to be really good at the drums. And then he goes to this school, and the instructor also wants to be really good at the drums. But the instructor's kind of a jerk. So he's very aggressive, and he's very abusive. And they have a very strange relationship where the kid gets really good at the drums. And I know that doesn't sound great.
No, why am I thinking Terrence Howard?
Terrence Howard is a
black male
man.
that was originally Rhodey from Iron Man 2. Why am I thinking Terrence Howard?
I don't know.
That's fucking weird.
Look up, just look up Fan Stick. But anyway, he was in this movie. God, I can't remember.
There we go. Like, people were already fucking... people are douchebags.
Find like the Wikipedia page for it if you can.
Let's go Kast.
All right, Kast, that'll work.
Wikipedia, right there.
What is that? What is the guy's name?
I can't remember.
See, I think you have to actually type Fantastic Four film. Wikipedia doesn't recognize Fan Four Stick.
Fan Four Stick. I wish it was like that.
So you... Oh, God. Scroll down. Go on down. Go up. Just go to Fantastic Four Disambiguation. Right there. Right.
What?
Right there. Right down. Right there. Click that. Go ahead and scroll down to film. 2015 film. There it is. Right there. Right there. At the bottom of the film. Film is at the top. Oh. Right there. Okay. Go ahead and scroll on down. What? Miles Teller.
Yes, it's his name.
Click his name real quick. Click his name.
This
Miles
guy
Teller.
is a fucking... They're trying to make this dude a fucking thing, and he sucks.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa. Go to career. No, there it is. Whiplash. Whiplash is the movie. He's very good in that movie.
Divergent series, which is,
who cares about Divergent? I didn't like...
Hunger Games are all the same.
Hungry Games. Getting hungry.
Project X, yeah. Footloose. Oh.
Whiplash is very good. And he's all right in Whiplash. Whiplash is carried by J. Jonah Jameson, though, whose name escapes me right now. Click Whiplash.
That's an interesting thing.
Click that right there. J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons in this movie is insane. He is a maniac. And I'll tell you right now, he's a great villain because by the end of the movie, I hated him. He was a piece of trash.
Well, generally speaking, a villain is supposed to be.
Well, I don't... Like Darth Vader, right? Let's think of a classic villain. Darth Vader is a classic villain. And Palpatine's a classic villain.
He's hard to hate, though.
It's hard to hate Darth Vader. And even Palpatine, I don't like Palpatine, but I don't hate him.
Or how stupid fucking Anakin is.
I hated J. Jonah Jameson's character, J.K. Simmons' character in Whiplash. By the end of the movie, I was like, I despise this dude. And if I came across him in real life, I don't know what I'd do.
You punch him right in the face.
I would be like, dude, I don't know what I'd do.
I
can't tell you, but he was enraging. It was a great movie. If you want to get mad, but also be very impressed, watch it. It's really good.
Huh. Well, back to the awfulness of that is Fan Four Stick. The second part of the movie, they literally just decide to go to another dimension and just to fuck around. I'm not kidding you.
Just for funsies?
Yeah. So they get there, shit goes down. Doom, the guy who's Doom, basically just falls. Who just doesn't like Reed just because he doesn't like Reed. Just for one reason.
Sure.
Just because.
Is Doom scary?
No. Let's put it this way: I could wrap you in plastic wrap, and you're scarier.
Oh boy.
That's how.
I'm scarier than a lot of things.
They basically come back, and Susan Storm is not even in the dimension, right? She's just in the area when they come back.
Sure.
Because the explosion comes out, shit happens. The movie wakes up with Miles Teller basically waking up with his body stretched all out, like kind of a horror, sci-fi horror kind of thing. He escapes, right?
Sure.
Then after that, basically, it's just a year later. They just fast forward a year. And as soon as they fast forward, they get the team back. Doom shows up, starts to destroy everything. He literally, Doom, let me show you what the new Doom looks like. You will literally...
Dr. Doom. Is he doomy? Is he scary?
Basically, his suit gets, melted to him.
Okay. What does that mean? His suit? Like a business suit?
No, they had some kind of spacesuit on when we went to the...
To the space realm? Well, I'm excited to see this. You know, I don't know. Visuals are really tough in a podcast.
I know, but everyone can go look up. This is what he looks like.
Let me see. He's like a cyborg man thing.
There you go. There you go.
I don't hate it.
Let's get more. There we go.
I don't hate it.
There we go.
I don't hate it.
That's what Doom's supposed to look like.
It's okay.
He looks like he's plastic wrapped.
It's. Let me see his bod. Is he big and scary?
No, he's scrawny and bitch made.
Oh, that's not cool then. If he was big and spooky, I don't mind his face zone, his whole like facey area.
No,
part.
the way they do it is basically his face is melted out, but when he wants to go talk, he reforms in his mouth like cracks and shit.
That's cool.
It's not. It's very stupid looking.
I'll tell you this right now. I don't know. That sounds cool. My only complaint, if I have a complaint, it's that he's scrawny. Doom is big. Doom is scary.
Well, Doom is supposed to be from his hometown, his home, Latveria thing. What the fuck is it called?
Latveria?
Latveria. There we go. Whatever.
Like
Let's call it the L country. For losers, the character is supposed to be like a dominant character that's so profound that's able to go against gods and just whatever, right? This Doom is bitch made. He literally shows up 5 minutes. Like, he shows up for 5 minutes, shows up, offs everybody. Within literally 5 to 10 minutes, he dies.
He's dead?
They just kill him outright.
Whoa! That's weird.
It's like he's all powerful, and somehow they just kill him by pushing him into the portal and whatnot.
Well, I've heard
and it just ends. It basically ends with them going, "Hey guys, I think we should call each other Fed," and it cuts. Everyone in the theater went, "Fuck this movie."
Gross.
And they said, "Oh, we might do a sequel." And I told them, "Do not do a sequel."
I'm sure they won't.
I hope
or maybe
not.
they will. Who knows?
Hopefully the Robotech movie is good. Now we're going back to the Battlecry game. Do you remember the Battlecry game?
Yes. It's been a very long time, but I remember.
How fun was the game?
I really liked the game. I haven't played it in a while, but when I played it, I really enjoyed it.
How much would you like to have that on the PSN network?
Well, can I play it on my PS4?
Yeah. It's on the network. It'll be on the network.
How much would it be?
Let's say $10.
I would consider it.
You'd consider? I would buy it. Because I'm just a big fan
I'd think
of the
about
series,
it. I really think Sony needs to do is now. Okay, I understand how backwards compatibility works. I know emulation works.
Right.
And I understand that PS3 emulation probably is not something that can be done on the PS4.
No.
But PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 emulation, I think, is more than feasible. And I really wish they would go ahead and give us some kind of virtual emulation for PS1 and PS2 games. Let me play my PS1 and PS2 games on my PS4.
Right.
That's what I want. I want that more. I want that more than I want like anything on the PSN. I would like to have. Now, that's not to say that I wouldn't buy games on the PSN. I would. I do. But some games I own. And first, here's a good example. Mega Man Legends is coming out on the PSN. Now, if I could play Mega Man Legends already, would I still buy it? The answer is yes. Of course I would.
Right.
Because I can play it on my Vita then, and also because I want to support the game. I want Capcom to know that I'll pay money for Mega Man Legends stuff. You give it to me, I give you money. You like money, and I like Mega Man Legends. Let's find some kind of agreement. You know? Give me Mega Man Legends 3 is what I'm getting at. So,
well, didn't they try to do a Kickstarter for that?
No, they did. No, that was a different game. Mighty Number 9.
I know they tried to do. I know they tried to do a Kickstarter for Kojima and Guillermo del Toro's game of Silent Hill. They tried to do a Kickstarter to get it back, and Konami said no. Just canceled it, which I thought was very shitty. And basically, they removed PT from the PSN network.
Sure.
So people now are basically buying PS3, or was it on PS3 and 4? PS4s.
Maybe PS3.
One of the two.
Both.
With
maybe.
PT on it.
Sure.
People are buying it just because of the game.
How about that?
The game was well. Have you played it?
No, I've never played it.
It was very horrifying and very. I liked it. I really did like it.
I don't play horror games. I don't watch horror movies, and it's not because they're scary. I mean, I'm sure they are, but I don't want to like run around and be spooked. I'm not looking to be spooked. It's not something I want.
Okay, this is a good lead off subject to my random question moments. Here we go to the comedy section of the show.
So clearly defined. Comedy mode engaged.
Okay, you're in a horror movie.
Sure.
Okay, now situations are happening. What would you do in the horror movie?
What would I do? You gotta give me more context than that. What kind of
Okay,
horror
so
movie
it's like a
is
slasher fic. You guys are trapped inside of a house with a killer.
it? How's he killing people? Slashing them
Yeah,
with a knife.
with a knife. And you don't know who it is. It could be one of the group, or it could be just a random guy in the house. You don't know.
And we're in a house.
You're inside a house.
Where is this house?
Let's just say it's on it's in a big house on a hill.
Where's the hill? How far am I from another house? Am I in the middle of a city? Am I in the middle of the country?
Let's say you're kind of suburban, but you're starting to get into the rural sections of a.
If I like dove and rolled down the hill, would I emerge at the bottom of the hill at my neighbor's home?
Let's say the nearest neighbor's home's like a block or two away.
What would I do? I'd call the police.
Well, if you couldn't call the police,
I'd leave.
you just leave.
Yeah, I'd leave.
The house is locked, Dom.
I'm on the inside.
Yes.
I can unlock the house doors are locked up.
You're inside the house, locked inside the house. You're trapped.
How am I locked in the house?
The killer did
Whose
that.
house is this?
It's the killer.
The killer's house?
No,
I know the
it's just
killer
a house
is
you're
now.
just trapped in.
I'm just trapped in a house.
Yes.
I'm just trapped.
You're trapped in a house.
I break out of the house.
How are you gonna break out?
I don't know.
You're trapped inside the house. You can break out. You wouldn't be trapped.
Is the house like empty or is there furniture?
No, it's an actual house, big house with everything, in it, furnished.
All right. Well,
everything.
let's see. Here's a good example. This microphone is currently sitting on a big metal like stake thing.
Right.
Are there big metal stakes for me to grab?
There could be.
Is there something like this right here?
Sure.
I'll grab this.
Okay.
I'm gonna break down. So I'm gonna break a hole somehow. And if someone comes at me, I'm gonna say, "Get away from me!" Or I'm gonna break you.
Now, what if you're trapped inside? Okay, you're in the house, whatever. Now, it's one of our friends, from Treasures or whatnot. So it's got Mel, Mike, Stacy, me, you, and a couple other friends that we know.
Sure.
What do you do?
It's us.
Do you protect them, or you say, "Fuck you guys, you're on your own"?
Well, what are the? I feel like I could figure out who the killer was. If it was all people from work, I could probably figure out if it was one of us, and then I would be like, "Bro,
yeah,
I'm gonna kill you."
It turns out he's not the killer.
I don't know. In
Dom was the
movies,
killer all along.
Yeah, that's actually the twist. Is I think everyone's the killer and I'm killing everyone. The thing about horror movies is that in order for horror movies to work, the people have to be dumb, dumber than normal.
Right.
Much dumber than normal.
Right.
And so I couldn't if I'm in a horror movie, I guess I just do something really stupid.
I love Liddell's response. Liddell says, "You know what the actual thing is? If you paid attention to horror movies when they do the black guy stereotypical thing,
sure.
Says normally a black guy would just leave. He just leaves fuck this shit, I'm out."
Yeah.
I was like, that's very true. I would do the same. You want to know how black guys usually die? What? They either get trapped fighting the fucking person, or they go back to rescue a fucking friend. It's usually a chick.
Where are all the white women at?
No, it's usually a chick. They go. It's very true. It's it's you know what happens when they have a person who has all the answers in a movie? They instantly kill them. What
if I said, "Don't touch me, and if you touch me, I'll break your arms"?
Well, the killer's got a knife. I'm not gonna touch you. I'm gonna cut you.
I have a big metal stick.
You have a big metal stick.
I control a larger zone than you can cross with your knife.
You're gonna play tactician and measurements. I have 2 feet between me and you. With my motion and my power, I can kill you with this motion of hitting you.
Yes.
Oh my god! You're gonna be the guy who'll set up traps.
No traps. If I grab a weapon that's longer than a knife, you might. You can. Okay, so with a knife, you can cross distances pretty quickly. They say if you are facing down someone who has a knife and they're 20 feet away from you, and you have a gun, that person can typically cover that 20 feet and get to you before you can pull your weapon out. 20 feet is not enough distance to keep you safe from someone with a knife. If you have something like that.
Unless you're Spike from Cowboy Bebop and pull the gun out and flick it and...
Sure. That's true.
You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen that episode? There's an episode where...
I have not watched Cowboy Bebop.
What? You can go back... Okay, you need to watch it for one. I recommend everyone else to watch it. If you're new to anime, watch it. There's a moment where he's fighting this genetic superpower dude who's got a mind of a child. He's an assassin or whatever. There's a moment where you get a POV of Spike fighting a dude, right? This dude is offing dudes left and right. Spike does his typical kicks. He pulls his pistol out, and the most badass fashion you see in POV cell, he goes boom, 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 and flicks his wrist. Just boom, 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 and shoots it. The guy dodges it, of course.
Huh. Well, how about that?
So basically, you pull a maneuver like that when a guy's trying to stab you.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. Am I fighting a superhuman? Is my enemy in this horror movie a superhuman, or are they a regular person with a knife?
So we're talking about if it's like The Hills Have Eyes versus like Scream.
Yeah, is this Scream, or is this like Michael Myers and he's immortal? If it's Scream, I think, I mean, you know...
You have a better chance of fighting the dude.
I won't hesitate. If I say, don't touch me, if I say... I feel like I wouldn't be too afraid to really just like
and if it's not
smash
human.
someone to a pulp. If it's not a human, then I don't know. I'll do my best. You know, I can only do my best. I'll fight to kill it, man. If it's like a demon or something, I swear I'll fight to kill it.
Have you seen Are You Afraid of the Dark? Not the cartoon, but the movie.
I don't watch very many movies.
Okay.
No, I've not seen it.
Basically, it deals with like gnomes trying to eat children and shit.
That's
like
gross.
That. Literally, there's a woman who dies in the movie because they're able to pull her through like a shaft. It like breaks her legs and pulls her in because she sacrificed herself for like the girl or whatever.
Gross.
There's a part of the movie with like how this is bullshit. They're like yay big. Gremlins would kick their ass because they're much bigger. But
I've never seen Gremlins.
The movie's okay. Don't watch it. Now I will have this question to ask. Which is a better Christmas movie?
What the? This is quite the transition. All right.
Well, we're transitioning to random questions. It doesn't have.
If
to
you were
make
being
sense.
murdered, would you not get murdered? Excellent response. Now, do you like Christmas?
Which one of these?
You're gonna tie this into Krampus, right? You're gonna ask me a Krampus
Yes,
question?
yes. You caught me.
Okay.
I'm glad you noticed. I was going to test you on it. Okay. There is 2 Christmas movies that come to mind, and which one of these are the better Christmas movies? And they are Christmas movies: Gremlins or Die Hard.
I have never seen either of those movies.
Are you shitting me? So you completely just ruined the question with you've never seen Gremlins.
I have seen pieces of each of those movies. I've never sat down and watched those movies all the way through. They're boring. Gremlins, yes, I get it. Little cute dude, don't feed him after midnight, don't get him wet. I don't know, stupid stuff, turns into a monster. I get it, yes, haha.
Fight a Gremlin.
I don't like Gremlins because I think the Gremlins are kind of gross.
You down with Fight a Gremlin?
I would stomp its little head in. I'd stomp it.
I can see the. Okay, here's my new premise for the next Gremlins movie.
I'd stomp it.
We have the mall. Gremlins are inside the mall. Dom's inside the mall.
Sure.
That's all we need.
I'll stomp them. I wouldn't like hesitate. I wouldn't be like, oh my god, I don't want to. I'd be like, well, I'm gonna stomp him good.
You just see.
Gonna stomp him.
It's
the winter, right? It's winter time.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my winter boots.
So I just see you with like putting a headband on, having a montage.
Yes,
you put lace up your boots.
Lace up my boots.
Like it's stomping time, and you see Dom going around.
What happens in Gremlins? Do people like hesitate on the Gremlins? They go, I don't want to hurt the Gremlins. I'm scared of the Gremlins.
There's shows. Okay, this is the problem I have with a lot of movies where like the monster or killer is like like below 2-3 feet. Like the Gremlins were able to scratch and bite. That's understandable. But the part that I have problems with is that you're a 6 foot something human. You would obliterate.
Yeah.
Like the Chucky movies. The doll has to trap you somehow, but even if he cuts like your leg or whatever, you still have an advantage.
I mean, I know. I sometimes wonder about that. I'm like, dude.
Wouldn't you just beat the shit out of him?
I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of people in these movies are kind of like passive, and they're just like, oh, no, don't hurt me. I'd be like, I'm gonna just rip you apart. I'll rip you apart limb from limb. Stupid little doll, I'll tear your head off.
You just keep punching Chucky.
I'll take your little doll arm and I'll tear it off and I'll catch you on fire.
For some reason,
I'll smash your little doll head in.
I just see
All right?
Tom. You're just going, oh yeah, and just dropping.
I'll elbow drop him off a balcony. Okay, I don't care. I'm not like, it's a doll. It's a doll. You're a little tiny like cotton thing. I'll rip you apart. You're made of cloth. I'm made of bone and muscle. You're made of paper and plastic. That's the stuff my grocery bags are made
I will
out of.
punch a fucking doll in the face.
Like, I will crush you. You don't even come up to my knee. I will literally just crush you beneath my boot.
You will just literally go stomp.
Like, okay, you've got a knife. Ow, you cut me. Oh, maybe you're stabbing me even. First and foremost, in real life, stab wounds, while bad, are not like, you don't get instantly gibbed by them.
No,
you don't go,
actually,
oh, I'm dead.
The thing is,
I'll brutalize that doll.
When somebody gets stabbed, they go, oh.
And they fall back. I'm like, nah, son. You got that knife in me. You know what that means? That means I can reach you. And I'm going to grab you.
Adrenaline will kick in. You will ignore the stab.
All right?
If
you're close enough to stab me, that means I'm close enough to grab your stupid little doll head and crush it in my hands.
You just like you have this Broly moment. You're
Yes, I'll grab you and I'll just crush you.
You'd be recreating when he like killed his dad in the same pod. Just,
Yeah. So like Chucky, you're close enough to stab me. I'm close enough to rip you limb from limb. You're a doll. I don't give a shit if you're made of magic. Whatever. I will destroy you. I will eat you.
I will fight you, doll.
All right? I will grab you by your stupid little doll hair, and I'll rip it out of your skull, and I'll punch your little doll eyes out, and I'll just rip your stupid little ceramic head apart.
Muhammad Ali's ass.
Okay? You're a doll. You're a toy.
You got him tied up,
I don't care how much magic you've got. I don't give a shit.
Because they kill the people in the most dumbest ways in the movie.
It's like, oh, you stabbed me. Well, that means you're enraged.
I can understand that the doll, like a guy sitting in a chair, a doll sunk up and fucking slit his throat. That's like,
yeah,
that's understandable. When you're physically fighting a doll,
it's not unreasonable to think that you might win the fight.
you would win.
I don't
the
think
fight
that's
so
outrageous.
Easily, you just clothesline the shit out of it.
I mean, I've never watched a Chucky movie, so I don't know like the extent of his power. Like how fast is he? How strong is he?
Everyone thinks he's a doll. And they just portray it like, oh, it's a little doll. And
I'm like, nah, this doll's got stitches, and you got a knife.
The doll's smart. He'll try to cut somebody down to size. But even on your fucking knees, you still have an advantage.
He's a little doll.
You
He's
have
a little
arms.
doll.
You'll fucking grab him by his arms and fucking keep slamming him until his head explodes.
I don't get it. So I don't know. Maybe his magic.
Again, like Nightmare on Elm Street. Technically,
the way I look at it, though, when there's a scary movie or something and the enemy has magic, that makes me think, well, if they have magic, what's keeping me from having some magic?
Exactly. Like
if you can have magic, I can have magic. I'll figure it out.
See, this is the problem with horror movies, like Nightmare on Elm Street, right? The whole time they portray the kids are so helpless in their dreams. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in your dreams, you're technically God.
Yeah, like I've never seen. Like I have seen.
Because the way they portray it, it's like he morphs into your dreams and you can't control your dreams. It's like, very true. But if you realize it's a dream, he pulls you into the dream world, like, you know what? That's it. Fine. You're going to die. You want how I'm going to die? Wind tunnel. And he actually says, or fucking, it's like, that's it. You get blown up. You know, like, you would win. You'd beat his ass.
Yes. So, now you wanted to link this all to Krampus.
Oh, okay. Yes, this is all leading to Krampus. Have you seen the trailer?
Yes.
Okay, if anyone hasn't seen it yet, go check out Krampus. Krampus. Oh, I won't pronounce it.
Krampus.
I looked it up. I was in and see what the hell it is. It's literally Santa's negative version.
Krampus is a very intimidating creature. If you're not familiar, it's like a European thing.
It's a European like folklore.
So they have Santa, but they also have evil Santa. Krampus is evil Santa. He is a giant monster. He's like a giant goat demon monster person who, if you're a bad kid, you don't get cold, a Krampus just takes you and kills you. He's brutal.
He supposedly eats them.
Eats them good. So Krampus is not like a fun thing. It's basically the devil. The Krampus is, if you ever look at a picture of Krampus, he is the devil. All right, so Krampus is not fun. He's like a giant devil yeti. I'm not like crazy about it. He's a very intimidating creature. So there's a Krampus movie coming out.
Yeah, it has a lot of comedic actors in it, though.
That's what I saw. Like, I saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, I know all these people from comedies. This is going to be a funny movie. And then they're, like, running from the Krampus. And I'm like, oh, is this like a dark comedy? And as far as I'm aware, it's not. It's just a dark horror movie. So, I don't know. I'm kind of confused.
I got a feeling that it's going to be a dark comedy. I think it's going to be a dark comedy. I really do.
You think it'll be
funny? But I got a feeling that Santa's going to come in and save the day.
That would be kind of cool.
So you just
maybe.
Like, Krampus is going to kill the kid or whatever. And basically just hear two footprints, and he just stops and steps in place. And he looks up, you just see Santa.
Oh my God.
Santa with an M60 machine gun, chest all buff. And he goes, "Merry Christmas, motherfucker." And just lights him up.
I was hoping maybe like a sword fight. Have you ever seen The Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah.
Something like that, where it was like, oh, it's a generic horror movie. Like, whoops, actually, it's not. Not a generic horror movie. Santa versus Krampus, battle of the century. That would be incredible.
You see a Santa in a red suit just come up and tackle the damn thing.
Just like a giant muscular Santa.
There's a muscular Santa. He's smoking a cigar. He's like,
that would be
naughty this year. You're going down, brother.
That would be incredible.
Be the best action sequence of all time. Get a call?
Oh, no, I got an update. I'm going to tell you guys this real quick. A friend of mine recently had some of his property stolen from his car. It was a binder full of trading cards, very unique trading cards. And this was like maybe a month ago or more. Just today, one of the stores we informed that had, that we had informed the cards had been stolen called us and said that people were in there right then and there trying to sell them. So I just got an update that my friend has received his binder. So happy day. I don't think he got his spare change out of his change cup holder that they stole, but that's not
interesting enough about getting stuff stolen. Like I've had my truck broken into. Like they popped the door. Somehow they popped the door. I don't know how they did, but no damage. They got into it. The only thing they took was change.
That's all they really want. I think a lot of times they break in. It's a lot like hobos and crackheads who want just money.
It's
they
sad.
see the change,
it's
they
real
grab
sad.
the change, and then they might, if they see anything else, they'll just grab it and take it. But we'll see. So I'm really happy about that. Happy ending for us all, because the main thing is, I do want to address one thing. Some of the cards in there were Dragon Ball Z cards. I don't know if you guys know about this, but the Dragon Ball Z card game has been back for about a year now. It's really good. I love the game. It's a lot of fun. He had some really cool, unique autographed Dragon Ball Z cards in there that
I will fight this son of a bitch.
We had personally gone to an anime convention and had some of these cards autographed by the voice actors. So when they got stolen, we were really upset. But now we have them back. Hooray! I do encourage you to look into the Dragon Ball Z card game though. The new set comes out at the end of October, and it's got Super Saiyan Vegeta and Android 18 and 17, all that crap. People, it's really cool. Get into the game. It's a fun game. If you play TCGs or if you like Dragon Ball Z, it's a lot of fun, and I strongly encourage you to look into it.
Is that doing it for you?
That's pretty good. He's screaming ho ho
Oh, with the fucking
like Thundercats.
Thundercats.
Yeah. There can be only one. There, that's what I want the movie to be. Chris the Saint Kringle versus the Child Whipper Krampus. Will you get presents or a beating? I like it. That's what I want. One night only, December 24th at your home. So yeah, if we're lucky, maybe it will be like this.
Santa's a badass guy.
I just want to be a big, hulking, bearded dude and be like, nah, son.
You want Santa to come out and basically start whooping dudes' asses.
I do. Was that Krampus like a giant crab?
No, it was a crab squid monster.
Oh, it's a crab fighting the Krampus. All right. What is happening? That's a cool image.
That is a cool image.
We can't be looking at images on here. All right. So I think what's happening there? That's some creepy stuff.
This is some dark ass looking Santa, man.
Oh my god.
What
is that?
It's Santa.
What's he holding?
I think he's holding a mouse or a rabbit.
Why is he so excited?
I don't know. I think he's gonna do something bad, man.
I like his mustache.
His mustache is curly, but the grin.
His mustache is obscenely long.
The grin. Oh. Wow.
All right. What time is it? I think we should wrap
this is about time to wrap it up, guys.
We're wrapping it up.
Well, guys, this is episode 2, Electric Boogaloo, or I like to call it Buff Muscular Santa.
Buff. Episode 2, Buff Santa versus Krampus.
The image will definitely be a buff Santa with the M16 machine gun.
You find one of these images of Santa fighting Krampus. Episode 2, Santa versus Krampus. The ultimate showdown. Sunday.
I'll just put John Cena with a beard. How about that?
Yes, John Cena.
It's
topical
John Cena.
memes. Yeah.
Well, anyway, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, ferret, check us out.
Or don't, but please do.
Please do.
If we're dog shit, please let us know. If parts of it aren't dog shit, also
tell us what you like. Comment. Tell us what you like, what you didn't like.
Tell us what you hated. Just give us some feedback.
And as always, keep it classy.